Greetings all, it's the first of the month. I am Yuya Asan Anu, bringing to you another Foundational Friday experience on the Enlightenment and Transformation channel on Blog Talk Radio. In this session, we'll be dealing with the science and more so some hands-on spells, rituals, and spiritual work. Okay. Before we get into that, I just want to let all of our registered students know from Sedulu House that we will be having live Q&A session this Sunday with me at 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, so definitely be ready and prepared for that. Have your questions ready. Please definitely have them in written form as well. In the event, if you want to email them prior to, post them, or just put them in the chat window so that way we can move more quickly. But that will be a 2-hour session that we'll be meeting for. So I look forward to connecting with you, especially since our last session, we now have some new students. So I'll see you this Sunday for the registered students. If you have not signed up for classes as of yet, head over to the Sedulu House page and take care of that. You can go to seduluhouse.com and there's a link for spiritual training. At that link, it gives you, where you can go sign up for the classes and join the learning group. I know some have emailed and asked me where and how to sign up for classes. Just go to seduluhouse.com. And the reason I say that is because my learning curriculum is hosted on a platform elsewhere, but I may be changing that platform soon. So as long as you go to Sedulu House, you'll always be kept abreast and be given the proper link to get to wherever you need to go. All right. So with that said, let's get into our show. It's going to be a really good one. One of the things that I promised you all when we first began this journey, it's been almost 2 years now, I think, since we've been, I initially started this show just as a podcast, and it was for all of my remote students who weren't able to come and take local classes. So I said, I started actually recording some of the classes and emailing them. And then I got a bit cumbersome. So I said, okay, I'll just do a little podcast thing. And I was doing that, and then that grew and grew. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me take it over to Blog Talk Radio. So I think it's been about 2 years. I got to check my archives as to when I first began. But one of the things that I had mentioned when we first started was that I would definitely be giving you hands-on. We've covered a lot of theory in this time that we've been meeting, and we've covered a lot of questions that have been presented. We've covered a lot of archetypical energies. We've definitely covered a lot of the concept and the mindset that one who is desiring to be a spiritual worker needs to have and take on, and more importantly, comprehend. That's been very big. It's probably been the central theme in our show, is really learning to take on the mindset of the spiritual worker, not just gathering a whole bunch of dead information that you don't know how to apply, or you may be too fearful to apply, or don't know when to apply. So, through learning, listening, and going through, many of you have signed up for the Unleash Your Inner God on the Udemy platform, that free class, which is a prerequisite to taking to the our new spiritual training. So that's good. That class actually starts you off just to get your thinking right, and also introduces you to our major Orisha, which is very important. As you know, the classes, and neither does the show, really center around Orisha, but they are a very fundamental and foundational theme, energy, and reference point for everything that we do. So with that said, let's get on to what we're talking about, which is spells and rituals. I wanted to give you guys some hands-on stuff because the new year is coming, as far as I'm concerned, because for me, the new year is in spring. So with the new year approaching, it's time to really do some cleaning, get some things together, get our minds right, get our bodies right, definitely get our homes right, and kind of set some things in proper balance. And I wanted to give you 5 different rituals in order to make that happen. So we're going to be going over a cleansing ritual. We're going to be going over a money ritual, a love ritual, protection ritual, and a power ritual. Almost forgot the last one. All right. So these were rituals that I designed some time ago, and that I use for people. And it's one of the things I always tell you is that I don't give you things that I got out of a book or someone just told me. I give you things that I've been using that work. That way, when I give them to you, it increases your faith in the spiritual work. Okay. Sometimes, you may do a ritual or something that someone gives you and it doesn't work as prescribed. And sometimes the reason is you. Sometimes you didn't do something right. Sometimes this was the wrong prescription for the situation. But if you did everything right and it's the right prescription, or if the person confirmed that you did everything right, which is more important, because sometimes you don't know as a student or as a novice, but it can be very disheartening when things don't work. So I try to give you very simple things that I know definitely work. And in the classes, I get into the heavier stuff. Like when we get into phase 2, we'll be dealing with more heavier rituals. So for those of you who've been emailing me and you've had some trepidation with the rituals in phase 1, just know that it gets deeper and heavier. Okay, so you want to get through those and learn them, not just rush through them, but know them, own them. For every lecture that you've taken in phase 1, own that lecture. Be able to explain it to another person proficiently and competently. Then you have it. Okay. But with that said, I want to get on to the first ritual style, which is a cleanse ritual. Now, for this one, you're going to need 3 aloe leaves, 12 lime, 1 bottle of maple syrup, 3 gallons of distilled water, 4 cups of sea salt, 2 gallons of whole milk, 1 quart of goat's milk, 2/3 of a bottle of Florida water, and 4 white candles. Now, this one is pretty involved in the sense that it's going to take a couple of days. For the first 3 days prior to you actually doing the actual cleanse, you're going to fast from solid foods. Okay, so you're going to fast. All right, so you probably take off a couple pounds for the new year. All right, so it has a dual benefit. But your diet will only consist of distilled water infused with maple syrup and lime. For every gallon of distilled water, you're going to mix about 1/3 of a cup of maple syrup and 1/2 a cup of freshly squeezed lime juice. And in that, you're going to put about 1/2 a cup of strained aloe juice. Okay, so you're going to drink a gallon of that every day. Make sure you save one of your aloe leaves, because remember I told you to have 3 of them. And that strained aloe juice, you just blend it up. And then after you blend it, you could just strain it either in a strainer, or what's easiest, what I like to do is I just take a clean cotton undershirt and I just pour it in there and then let it, put it over a cup and then let the aloe come down. Because a lot of times the aloe, you get the little pieces of green leaves. So to get those out, I just strain it that way and it comes out perfect. All right. So you don't have to buy a strainer if you don't own one. So for the first day, what you're going to do is you're going to pour 4 cups of that salt onto a large, preferably white plate, right? And then you're going to clean your 4 candles with Florida water. Place those 4 candles around the plate so that the plate is surrounded in light. In that salt, you're going to use the middle finger of your right hand and you're going to write the word purity. You're going to leave these candles burning throughout the duration of your fast, which is going to be 3 days. On the 3rd day, you're going to take a bath to cleanse yourself of all physical dirt. Now, it doesn't mean those other 2 days you can't take a bath. All right. So, you can take a bath every day. But if you decide to skip a day, make sure you take one on the 3rd day. All right. And then after you take that bath, you're going to blend a 1/2 of an aloe leaf in a blender and strain the liquid again through a piece of cotton or whatever. Take the other 1/2 and cut off one side of it where that green skin is, so you can expose the inner gel, or like they call it, the meat sometimes. Then take your lime, cut it into halves, right? You're going to take, so that'll be 6 of the limes that you'll cut in half, because the other 6 you use to drink. Squeeze those 6 limes after you cut them in half, and leave the juice in a container. Make sure you save the halves, very important. Pour your goat's milk into a large bowl and put it near your purity intention plate, which is surrounded in light. Now you're going to fill a warm bath. Bring your candles, your aloe juice, your Florida water, your lime juice, your lime halves, and a plate of salt with you into the bathroom. Get into the bath, right? Dip your lime halves into the plate that the salt plate, making sure they have salt on them. Then you're going to clean yourself with that, right? And while you're doing all this, you're silent. This is not one where you're saying any chants or any prayers, or anything like that, or affirmations. Okay. I just want you to imagine any harmful energy that may be on you running and scattering from your body and out of your home with every stroke of that lime over your body and every salt that's going over you. Once you've gotten through your 12 lime halves, because it's going to be 12, because remember you took 6 limes, cut them in half, 12 pieces. Okay. Place them in the bath with you, those lime halves. Okay. Now pour the lime juice into the tub along with you as well, because remember you had that lime juice from earlier. Okay. Now using your hand, rub the remainder of the salt all over your body. You're going to clean yourself with that salt, every crevice. That means your underarms, your neck, in between your toes, back of your knees, you get the idea, all of your crevices. Now you're going to pour the 2 gallons of milk that you have over your body while you're in the tub after cleaning yourself with the salt. Then you're going to combine your 2/3 of Florida water with your goat milk. Pour this over your body from head to toe. Once you do that, take your container of aloe juice and coat your body with it. But you're going to use that half. Remember the one that we cut in half and you have the gel exposed? You're going to use that as like a sponge all over your body, and you're going to coat yourself with the aloe. Don't rinse that off. Okay. Now you're going to take a portion of that bath into a large bowl. Okay. So you're going to scoop some of it up into a large bowl, step out of the bath, cover your head with a light cloth. Do not dry yourself off. Allow yourself to air dry. Surround the bowl that you took out of the leftover bath with the 4 candles. When the candles are all extinguished, then you can take that bath and throw it outside towards the west, the westernmost part of your yard, or just wherever the west is from where you live. Throw it out there, and then you're done. Okay? So that's our cleanse bath. Now we're going to get into a protection spell. For this, you're going to need a cup of pokeberries, 2 pieces of red cloth, 1 large and the other small, 4 cigars, 4 red candles, 1 knife with a wooden handle, 4 sticks of wood, an iron nail, and palm wine or dark rum, whichever one you can get. You got to do this one in the woods. Okay. First step, you smash, or you could blend the pokeberries so that they liquefy. Use that liquid as an ink, and you're going to draw the symbol of Zarabanda onto the 2 red cloths using your nail as a drawing pen. Okay. Set your 4 candles at the 4 cardinal directions and light them. You're going to sit in the middle of this configuration. So obviously you got to make it big enough so you can sit in the middle of it. Right. Now, sharpen the ends of your wood sticks into points with your knife while sitting in the middle of the square box. Okay, so you're going to sharpen them so they almost look like arrowheads or like spears. Take some of the rum into your mouth that you have, or the palm wine, and you're going to baptize those newly created spears or dagger by spraying them. Spraying the rum out of your mouth. And you're going to say, I baptize you for the purpose of bringing protection to me at all times from every direction. Once your drawings dry, sit them in the middle of the circle with you. Then you're going to light each cigar. Remember, you got 4 of them. And you're going to blow their smoke 3 times onto your drawing. So you go around your circle, light the cigars, and blow it onto each drawing. Okay? Then you're going to leave the cigars at each cardinal point. Spray rum at the 4 cardinal points, and say, to the spirits that protect me from all 4 sides, watching over the world, I offer you rum for strength and added protection from all enemies and obstacles. Now throw your daggers as far as you can into the 4 cardinal directions, saying, I give these daggers to the vultures at the 4 cardinal points. Whoever may choose to come against me, cut them down with these daggers. Now take your knife and dig a small hole in the middle of this square. Place the larger drawing and the nail with it in that hole. Cover it back up. Insert your knife into the soil over the hole. So that's why you gotta make sure you got a knife with a wooden handle. Okay. Pour the remainder of your rum onto the knife handle, allowing it to seep into the earth. If you have any pokeberries remaining, also pour that onto the knife handle, allowing it to seep down the blade into the ground. Okay, take the small drawing and you can keep that with you. You could put it in your wallet, you could put it in your pocketbook, you put it in your car, or leave it in your house, wherever you want. Carry it whenever you're going into places that you need protection. And everything that was used for the ritual, leave it there. So for this one, I advise that you use like just regular wax candles without the glass, things that can stay. Use a knife with a wooden handle and put it, deep into the earth and let everything seep down into it. Okay, so that's our protection spell. Okay, now we're going to get into our power spell. For this one, we're going to need a large stone, as large as you can accommodate. Red paint, black paint, cinnamon, Florida water, gin, curry powder, hot sesame oil, and 3 red candles. First thing we're going to do is we're going to paint the right side of the rock red, and we're going to paint the left side of the rock black. We're going to place this rock at the westernmost place on our property or inside of our home. Okay, we're going to knock on the rock 3 times, chanting, after we paint it and it dries, we're going to say, Eshu Mopeo, Eshu Mopeo, Eshu Mopeo, meaning Eshu, I call you forth. We're going to light the 3 red candles in front of the stone, and we're going to say, I lay before the force that holds power a bed of fire. Then we're going to say 3 times, awaken to power, awaken to power, awaken to power. Now you're going to pour the hot sesame oil over the rock. Spray 3 sprays of gin from your mouth onto the stone, and then say, I give you gin so that you will strengthen my will. I want you to now take the cinnamon and sprinkle it onto a piece of, non-toxic self-igniting charcoal, the one kind we use for incense. And we're going to say, I offer this cinnamon to you so that you will enliven and excite my internal strength. So after we do that, then we're going to say, okay, we're going to spray the gin onto the stone 3 times again. Now sprinkle curry powder onto that same charcoal and say, I offer you this curry so that you will expand the fullness of my talents and power. Now you're going to pour the hot sesame oil onto the stone again 3 times. Now sit in front of this structure and do 3 sets of fire breaths. Okay? With each set you do, I want you to do 10 repetitions. So you're going to breathe in and out 10 times of the fire breath. On the last one, you're going to exhale long. When you exhale after the first breath, I want you to let the air fully release from your diaphragm and I want you to do that, envisioning every obstacle in your life being blown away from around you with the exhalation of your breath. On the second exhalation, I want you to chant right after, from the base to my crown, I am the architect of power. From my base to my crown, I am the architect of power. On the third exhalation, I want you to envision your entire body wrapped in a spear of heat that's emitting from your own breath. Now pour the Florida water over the stone, saying, I offer this so that you will quicken my words and intent from earth to heaven and back again. And I want you to leave those candles burning overnight. Okay? You're always going to keep that stone. Always. All right? And you can do that as often as you want. Whenever you feel you want to increase your ashe, increase your prana, your chi, you could just do that ritual. Okay, so now we're going to get on to our love ritual, okay, our love spell. And for our love spell, we're going to need 1 brass bell, some fine yellow cornmeal, spring water, although collected rainwater from a storm would be better. We're going to use 3 red candles, 3 yellow candles, 1 green candle, lavender oil, patchouli oil, papyrus paper, and if you can't get papyrus paper, you can use a brown paper bag. That's fine too. We're going to use 1 cigar and a black cloth. This ritual we're going to call upon the Marasa, the energy of the Marasa. Okay, so to begin this ritual, I want you to start it with a dance. You're going to dance, and you can use any music that you feel is playful, that makes you feel light, or music that reminds you of your childhood, which is even better. Okay, but obviously the happy times of your childhood. Okay, and you're going to dance kind of like in spinning motions. You're going to make like a cyclone, a cyclical motion, but you can also drum and you can sing to the Marasa energy as well. And you're going to do this for at least 3 minutes. All right. Now, once you're done, you're going to burn your lavender oil in an oil burner. You're going to anoint your candles with the patchouli oil. Okay. And then you're going to draw the veve for the marasa with your cornmeal. Place the 3 red candles on the bottom points of that veve. Place the 3 yellow candles on the uppermost point of the veve. Place the green candle inside the center of the veve. Now I want you to trace that same veve, that upside down V and right sided V. I want you to trace that with your water. And then you're going to chant this. I call forth the power of polarities. I call forth the power of the twins. I call forth the power of the lovers. I call forth the Gemini. I call forth the Ibeje. I call forth the Marasa, and say that 3 times. Then you're going to light all of your yellow candles, and you're going to say, elders of heaven, listen to me. Say that 3 times. Then you're going to light all your red candles, and you're going to say, spirits of transformation, listen to me. And you're going to light that as well 3 times. Then you're going to take your paper and you're going to cut it into a rectangular strip. So you have a couple options you could do. The first option is you can write down who it is you desire to have a love relationship with, or you can write down the qualities that you desire in someone who you'd like to have a love relationship with, even if that person hasn't manifested yet. You're going to cut another strip of rectangular paper and you're going to write your name 9 times on it. Okay. Now, if you're doing this for a person that you want a love relationship with, you're going to write their name 9 times too on their piece, that first piece of paper. You're going to create a cross with the piece of paper, with your name on it and the one from either option 1 or 2. You're going to place that cross, those 2 crosses of paper, underneath your green candle. Light your green candle. Then you're going to say energies of polarity, known as the lovers, known as the twins, known as the Ibeje, known as the Marasa. I offer you fire, I offer you water, I offer you earth, and I offer you wind. So now take your lit cigar and blow it over the veve. Say, I make this offering sacred and give it to you for the purpose of bringing a healthy love relationship into my life with a person who fits the following qualifications. Then you're going to read off your list. Or you could say, I make this offering and give it to you for the purpose of bringing a healthy love relationship into my life with, the particular person who you wrote down. Then you're going to say, I seal this and quicken this ritual with the sacred tobacco. Blow your cigar over the Ibeje. Leave the candles burning for 1 night, and that night you're going to sleep in front of that shrine. Every night before you're going to recite your list of qualifications or the name of the person, and before you do it, you're going to ring that brass bell 5 times. Do this for 3 days. After you're done, take the materials from the veve and the rituals and wrap them in a black cloth and bury them either near where the person you desire passes every day, or at the foot of a running stream or a river. Okay? So that's a very powerful love spell. Then for our last spell, we're going to deal with the money spell. Okay? Now for our money spell, there's a couple of things you're going to need. You're going to need an iron pot or cauldron. You're going to need some dark rum. You're going to need cinnamon. You're going to need frankincense resin, non-toxic charcoal for incense burning, a small iron chain, a 9-volt battery, a magnet, a blank check, 21 cowrie shells, and tobacco oil. Okay? You're going to rub the tobacco oil throughout the inside and outside of that pot. Light the self-igniting non-toxic charcoal. Sprinkle the cinnamon and frankincense onto the charcoal. Spray the iron chain with the sprays of dark rum from your mouth. You're going to spray it 3 times. Now place the chain into the pot, circling it around the inside of the pot, almost like a snake wrapping around the inside of the pot. Then you're going to place your magnet in the middle of the chain after spraying the magnet with rum. Spray that 9-volt battery and place it into the pot as well. Now you're going to clean the calories that you have with the smoke from that incense, and you're going to say the following. I strengthen my relationship with wealth. I give to the owner of fortune incense of frankincense and cinnamon so that wealth and creative financing will always live within me. I give to the owner of fortune a chain so that my connection to money will remain strong and evolving as my needs grow. I give to the owner of wealth this battery so that the current of money and wealth will stay strong in my life. Now you're going to write a check out to yourself for whatever amount you desire, and then you're going to anoint it. Okay? And you're going to anoint it with the tobacco oil. You're going to anoint it with the patchouli, and then you're going to spray it with the rum. You're going to take that check and place it under the magnet that you have put in the pot before. So you pick up the magnet, put the check underneath it. Then you're going to say, to the spirit of wealth, who grants riches to all those who need, so that they may have the financial freedom of new opportunities, I give Owo. Now you're going to pour those cowrie shells into the pot. Spray the rum into the pot from your mouth 21 times, and then you're going to say, it is done. So now whenever you desire money, all you have to do is feed that pot incense, real money bills, and dragon's blood. Okay, you can get that from herb stores and whatnot. But the money bills, you can make sure you never put change into that pot. If you can put anything more than a $1 bill, that's better, or whatever the currency is for wherever you're listening at. But try to put the biggest bills that you can. It's an offering, and don't take them back out. Okay, even if I'm running, I got to get a cab, and I'll just take these out. I'll pay you back later. Don't do that. Once you put them in there, and you're anointing them, and you're putting, you're giving them offerings, and you put them underneath the magnet each time, and you're going to see how quickly. I guarantee you, within a couple of days, you're going to see some money. Watch on this one. Okay, so that's our money ritual, and that's actually all of our rituals. Okay, if you want some more, I have them. That I'll be showing you in phase 2 of your spiritual training. We'll be going through a lot more, actually, in various categories, beyond power, wealth, and cleansing, and love, and money, and protection. Phase 2 also introduces us to the concepts and effective methods of spiritual martial arts. So not only when you just need to go on the defense when someone is trying to attack you, but when you need to go out and take care of a situation, we get into that, how to do that properly, and how to do that without causing a whole lot of backlash and repercussion on yourself, because you created now this karmic responsibility because you did it wrong. You have to be careful with spell work, especially with that love spell. When you're trying to call a particular person to you, I would always advise to use some form of divination first. Of course, in Grasping the Root of Divine Power, my book, I teach you a form of divination, which is always advisable to do before you perform any type of ritual or spell work. So with that, if you want to learn more about the spells, you can go to the Sedulu House website and go to seduluhouse.org/spirit/SPIRIT-GUIDES/FREE-SPELLS. The easy way is just to go to the seduluhouse.org site, look for the Spirit Guides menu. There's a sub menu that says rituals, and then another sub menu that says free spells, and then you'll get everything you need right there. And there I have all of these spells that I went over in the show. I know I went very fast because I was trying to get them all in, but don't worry about it, because you can go right over to the page on Sedulu House, and I have all of them listed out, and you can read through them, and you can take your time with them, and make sure you get them how you need to get them, and take your time gathering the items that are needed. Don't shortcut yourself. These are very powerful and effective. They work. So again, make sure you sign up for classes, pick up a copy of Grasping the Root of Divine Power, download your free Orisha mixtapes. You can even check out whatarethespiritualgifts.com, and go over to the Sedulu House Facebook page. Make sure you click like on it, and please leave your comments and reviews for the show. That actually helps. The structure shows, and what direction I may want to go, even with my writing, as I'm working on some new books that I'll have ready for you guys pretty soon. Also, be on the lookout. This summer, I'm thinking about planning some spiritual retreats to bring everyone together, and we can do some heavy duty spiritual work together face to face. So let me know what you think about that. Leave comments, Facebook wall, or go over to Sedulu House and leave comments. Comments are better than emails. Okay. They're easier for me to sort through and pull them up. All right. So until next time, I'm Yuya Asan Anu, and this has been another Foundational Friday. Peace and love. Greetings, all. It's the first of the month. I am Yuya Asan Anu, bringing to you another Foundational Friday experience on the Enlightenment and Transformation channel on Blog Talk Radio. In this session, we'll be dealing with the science and more so some hands-on spells, rituals, and spiritual work. Okay. Before we get into that, I just want to let all of my registered students know from Sedulu House that we will be having live Q&A session this Sunday with me at 11 a.m. Eastern. All right, so definitely be ready and prepared for that. Have your questions ready. Please definitely have them in written form as well. In the event, if you want to email them prior to, post them, or just put them in the chat. Our new spiritual training. So that's good. That class actually starts you off just to get your thinking right, and also introduces you to our major Orisha, which is very important. As you know, the classes, and neither does the show, really center around Orisha, but they are a very fundamental and foundational theme, energy, and reference point for everything that we do. So with that said, let's get on to what we're talking about, which is spells and rituals. I wanted to give you guys some hands-on stuff because the new year is coming, as far as I'm concerned, because for me, the new year is in spring. So with the new year approaching, it's time to really do some cleaning, get some things together, get our minds right, get our bodies right, definitely get our homes right, and kind of set some things. When we first started was that I would definitely be giving you hands-on. We've covered a lot of theory in this time that we've been meeting, and we've covered a lot of questions that have been presented. We've covered a lot of archetypical energies. We've definitely covered a lot of the concept and the mindset that one who is desiring to be a spiritual worker needs to have and take on, and more importantly, comprehend. That's been very big. It's probably been the central theme in our show. Is really learning to take on the mindset of the spiritual worker, not just gathering a whole bunch of dead information that you don't know how to apply, or you may be too fearful to apply, or don't know when to apply. So, through learning, listening, and going through, many of you have signed up for the Unleash Your Inner God on the Udemy platform, that free class, which is a prerequisite to taking to the window, so that way we can move more quickly. But that will be a 2-hour session that we'll be meeting for. So I look forward to connecting with you, especially since our last session, we now have some new students. So I'll see you this Sunday for the registered students. If you have not signed up for classes as of yet, head over to the Sedulu House page and take care of that. You can go to seduluhouse.com, and there's a link for spiritual training. At that link, it gives you where you can go sign up for the classes and join the learning group. I know some have emailed and asked me where and how to sign up for classes. Just go to seduluhouse.com. And the reason I say that is because my learning curriculum is hosted on a platform elsewhere, but I may be changing that platform soon. So as long as you go to Sedulu House, you'll always be kept abreast and be given the proper link to get to wherever you need to go. All right. So with that said, let's get into our show. It's going to be a really good one. One of the things that I promised you all when we first began this journey, it's been almost 2 years now, I think, since we've been, I initially started this show just as a podcast, and it was for all of my remote students who weren't able to come and take local classes. So I said, I started actually recording some of the classes and emailing them. And then that got a bit cumbersome. So I said, okay, I'll just do a little podcast thing. And I was doing that, and then that grew and grew. And I said, okay, you know what? Let me take it over to Blog Talk Radio. So I think it's been about 2 years. I got to check my archives as to when I first began. But one of the things that I had mentioned